Hello. Happy Friday Fun Day. I hope you have been having a great week. Just waiting for this to pop on so that if people come on, I can see your comments. Not sure why it takes so long. And there it is. Okay. So today I am going to show you, oh, whoops, I forgot to turn the volume down. There we go. I'm kind of featuring a few dies here in particular. The first one being the Haunted House tag die from my creative time. So this is just a fun little die, and I went ahead and die cut all my pieces out today because otherwise it makes my video a little bit long. But this has 4 pieces to it. The background or shadow die to the little house here, and then these pieces go behind the windows so that you can illuminate it from the inside of the house, if that makes sense. The other die, and I will put links to these dies down below in the description box after I'm done with the video. This die I found on Amazon, and I think it's called a spooky tree die. It's exactly what I was looking for, was a spooky tree die. And I liked the size of it. And if you're curious, I will measure it real quick. So this one measures just about 4 1/4 inches at the widest point. And it is just about 4 1/4 inches high as well. And then the little house die, it's too tall to fit on a 5 1/2 inch, or what was I thinking? Yeah, on 4 1/4. It's too tall to fit it that way, long ways on your card. So it's 4 1/2 inches tall, and then it is 2 3/4 inches wide. I also used one of these hill borders from Lawn Fawn, and these are the stitched Hillside borders. And then from Impression Obsession, I used Anna White's die set. I love this. It's the Crazy Stitched die set. And there's the information. I used this label tag. And let me show you the actual size because they look much smaller on the front of the package. And this is the actual size. I love the crazy stitching on them. And there's the 2 different labels. This die measures, the cutout part is just about 3 5/8. 3 5/8 inches wide, and what have we got here? We have 4 7/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7/8 tall. Love it. Okay. And then I'm using the Cutest Halloween set, which is what the name of it is, from Stampin' Up, along with the coordinating punch. These are retired. Okay, shall we get started? Hi, Marianne. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate you coming on and saying hello. Okay, so I have got all my parts and pieces. And I'm starting with a basic gray card base. I'm using Stampin' Up cardstock. So I'm I've just got the regular 4¼ by 5½ inch size card here, and I scored it, so I just wanted to give it a little extra crease there. And where do I want to start? I can set that aside actually. I've got this fun background piece with these spooky bats. And that paper, you might have this in your collection. It's called Magic in This Night Designer Series paper from Stampin' Up. So this is not one of their current papers. You can use any kind of a spooky paper if that is your choice. And I just really liked this one with the bats all over it. I thought that was fun. And then, like I said, I went ahead and die cut my things. So this is the tree, and I wanted it, I didn't want it black because I didn't want it to disappear against my background there. So I cut this out of some wood grain paper that was, it's also a past paper pack from Stampin' Up. It was from, I think, last year. So you could use any wood grain paper that you might have, or even just a solid brown. So there is what my spooky tree looks like. But I do want to give it a little more personality, so I'm just going to bring in some scrap paper here to work with, and a finger dauber. I'm going to use my early espresso. So that's like a really dark brown ink. And because this is like lighter weight than cardstock, it's very delicate. So I don't want to tear my branches here. So I'm gonna lay it flat on my paper and just kind of go around the edges by pouncing my little dauber, if that makes sense. Even if you were using a blending brush, you would need to be really careful not to bend up the delicate pieces on this. So you just have to be a little extra careful is all. And I kind of like the branches being a little bit darker because, you know, typically limbs on a tree, they're darker colored, usually, depending on what variety of tree it is. So while it's not going to be black, it will be dark, but you're still going to be able to see it up against that paper. Okay, so there. I think that just looks a little bit better. So I think I'm done with brown. Let's play with the house one. So here's my little hill that I cut out with that lawn fawn die, and I've got that ready to go. And here's the house. Let me bring in these pieces. So I cut the shadow for behind the house out of basic gray. And then I used a fun patterned paper. This is also a past Stampin' Up paper. And I just didn't want a solid color, so I thought it would be fun to sort of use this text print. And then I've got some yellow to put behind the windows. So I'm going to do the same thing with this as I did the tree. And this is in the gorgeous grape color, so I am going to use the same color of ink. Let me get my tree out of the way here. And I'm just going to go around the edges and just stress it a little bit. Tomorrow I get to go to a card making event that's put on by my friend Jo. She is my Stampin' Up. Well, when I was in Stampin' Up, she was my upline. So now that I'm not in Stampin' Up, she is my demonstrator. So we make 10 cards. It's just fun to get together with other people who enjoy card making. That's mostly why I like to go, because I certainly can make cards on my own, but it's just getting together with other people to do it. That's what's fun, I think. Okay, so there we go with that. And then the yellow, what I'm going to do with it, let me get rid of the purple here. I'm just going to bring that, let's see, I'm going to bring in the basic gray dauber. And maybe I've got enough ink on here, we'll see. I just kind of wanted to dirty up this yellow a little bit. I'm going to have to bring the ink out because it's a haunted house, so, well, it looks like a haunted house, right? So I just don't want it looking all pristine. Needs to look a little spooky inside. So I'm just going to dirty up this yellow a little bit. Almost will give it the appearance of maybe cobwebs around the windows. See? Just a little bit. Surely there must be spiders inside that house. I do not like spiders. Okay, I think that's good enough. I think that's it for inking. So those pieces are ready. I think I can get rid of this. Okay, then I have a piece of orange here, and I'm going to stamp this cute pumpkin, and I've got my stamps loaded up already. So this is a two-step stamp set, so you can stamp the outline and then you can come back with a color on each of these if you want to. I'm just using the outline one today because I'm going to stamp onto orange, so I don't need to add color on top of that. And I'm just going to stamp it out with my Memento black. And let me see how this goes into the punch. That's one thing about punches, is that you always kind of need to be aware how your paper goes in so that you can make it a little bit easier on yourself. Okay, so I kind of need to put this at an angle, so I'm going to do it like this and we'll go from there. So there is that, and then the little face. There we go. Cute. All right, so I can put this black away now. Whoa, I'm banging into all kinds of stuff here. All right, so I am going to add a little green here to the stem. I'm using my Stampin' Up! Blends, and this just happens to be the dark old olive. So we'll give that a green stem. And then I have the light pumpkin pie. And I'm just going to kind of go down here like this. And do a little bit of shading. I'm going to come around the outside edge here. And this will lighten up some when it dries. Just give our little pumpkin a little bit of personality here. And I'm going to go in his eyes and those two little teeth. And then let's punch this out. Whee! All right. Cute pumpkin. Okay, I am going to take my Wink of Stella here and just, oh, there's a hair on it. I'm going to just add some sparkle here, or shimmer, whatever you want to call it, to the teeth and the eyes. So there is the little pumpkin. Okay, next, let's do the greeting. So I'm going to heat emboss that. I'm going to use my powder tool here and just go over this. Since I'm heat embossing, I don't want my embossing powder to stick where I don't want it to stick. So that will just help to get rid of the fingerprints and stuff that might be lurking on there. Now, this does have the stitching on it, so I can choose to have my these little stitches at the top, or turn it around the other way, like this. And I think that will be how I'm going to do it. I don't know what those little white specks are. Let me see if I can get those to come away, or if they're just, no, I don't, I guess they're just on there, so we'll just leave them alone. Okay, so from the stamp set I have a fabulous Halloween. So I'm just inking that up with the Versamark watermark stamp pad. I have found that I like a bigger stamp block than what I might have used previously. For a stamp like that, typically I would have used the long, narrow stamp block. But when you use one that's bigger, you can see better where you are lining it up. So I've decided that I like to do it that way better. So I'm just putting some white embossing powder on here. That looks pretty good. Let me set this aside. And I have my little reverse tweezers here, or whatever they're called, but they make it really easy to hold on to your papers when you're heat embossing. I love heat embossing. Okay, so that's ready to go. I've got the inside of the card here. And for this, I have the trick or treat put on my stamp block, and I'm going to use, whoops, pumpkin pie, which is a nice orange. Hopefully I don't get that ink that I got on the block here on my card. Fingers crossed. Try to be really careful and not rock it. There we go. Trick or treat. Okay, and then I mounted up the cute little spider. Let me bring black back out here. Just going to let it set there for a minute so we can get a nice bold image. There we go. Cute. Okay, and he can't just be floating there in midair, so I've got a fine tip pen here that I've had for ages and ages and ages, and I'm just going to draw a spider web. These were from close to my heart eons ago, and there it comes like in a package of 4 or 5 in different sizes. This is the smallest one at 01. And now I am going to take, this is one of the new in colors from Stampin' Up, Light Parakeet Party. And I thought that would be a really fun, it's kind of like a chartreuse green. I thought that would be a really fun color for his eyeballs. Eek! Okay, we're ready to put this card together. Okay, so I'm bringing back in my card base. And like I said earlier, for any products that I can find links to, I will put them in the description box below after I'm done here. Okay, so there's the inside. Here's my fun batty background paper. And my little hillside that I cut with that Lawn Fawn die. So I'm just going to run my ATG on this. go all the way to the edge because I'm not going to be using the whole strip. So let's see. I think I'm going to go about like that. Just line this up with the bottom here. Trim off the ends. Okay, and now let's add the spooky tree. Eek! Okay, so I'm going to use my art glitter glue and work as fast as I can to daub this around. Let me get it going here. I think I need to add some more to my bottle. So I'm just going to kind of polka dot it around. I guess I could have put my double-sided adhesive on the back of this, but I didn't even think to do that. This glue works so well though. I mean, as long as you work fairly quickly with it, because it dries so fast. And I'm not the fastest. You could do a lot of things with this fun spooky tree. Put some spider webs or even use like, well, I know you can buy that spider webby stuff. Or what's that kitchen stuff? Oh my goodness, I can't think of what it's, cheesecloth. I have some of that. Kind of use some of that on it too, I bet. All right, I think I've got enough glue on it. All right, we're gonna plant this tree right here on the hill. And it pretty much goes edge to edge here on my paper. It might hang over even just slightly, but that's okay because I have this layer cut just a little bit smaller than the card base. So there is the spooky tree with all the bats behind. Okay, let's put the house together. So I just need to put a little bit of glue around these window cutouts. Now, when I showed this in my haul, this die, I was saying you could use vellum in the windows. And then they make those light kits for cards. You could get really fancy and put some sort of light kit and light your haunted house up. Okay, so there is that. And now we just need to get it glued to the shadow part. Okay. I need a new pen. the little ball keeps coming off the end of the pen, and I pounce it back onto the end of the pen. So far I've been lucky. I always have to add a little bit of glue, but I really need a new pen. And you can't just use any old pen or it'll rust in there. So, okay, there is the haunted house. Now I want to pop it up a little bit. I have these black dimensionals, so I may as well use them, right? Maybe one more. There we go. I always like to indent them because it makes the papers a little bit easier to peel off. Okay, more glue. Just a little bit down here. Yeah, the last time I bent the pen when I was trying to get it put back together. Okay, so let's get this house on here. I love that bat paper. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and attach this, I think. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get that attached, and then I can come back and finish adding the other things. Oh, thanks for the tip. Marianne says she uses a needle for her glue, and that way it doesn't rust. Yeah, because they're stainless steel or whatever, right? Okay, let me get this on here. I need to pull it towards me a little bit so I can see my borders. Okay, there we go. All right, that's going to go up there. Let me get the pumpkin, and I'm just going to cut a bit of edge off of here. I just need to hold that in place there for just a second so that the bottom will stick. And then I need some dimensionals on the back of this. And I I want some Wink of Stella on these windows. I know you won't be able to see it, probably. I will try. I'll try to tilt it and see if you can see the glistening. But I just thought that would add a little bit more fun here to this card. This will be a good one to send to one of our grandsons, I think. I'm really loving some of the Halloween pumpkin ones that I'm seeing in with the pink pumpkins and stuff this year. I always love things that have pink in them. I see white pumpkins. They're real white pumpkins. And I'm seeing them in blue, but this year there's pink and kind of a peachy color as far as crafty wise. Okay, there. I don't know if you can see the glistening, but that gray really did well to make it look like cobwebs in the windows. So I'm glad how that turned out. So have a fabulous Halloween. Trick or treat. Cute. Here's the first one I did, so they're pretty much just the same. I didn't pop the greeting up on the first one, so I don't know. I could have made it flat on both of them. But there you have it. My little haunted house scene card. I'm going to show these dies once again from My Creative Time is that haunted house tag die. She's got lots of fun dies and things on her website, so you'll have to check those out. I did the bottom hillside part with the stitched hillside borders from Lawn Fawn. And then this fun spooky tree that I found on Amazon, and I will try to link that. And the crazy stitched die set from Impression Obsession. Okay. Thanks so much for joining me today, you guys. I had fun making this card. I hope you had fun watching. And come back tomorrow and see what I will have for you for Saturday morning makes. Like I said, I'm going to go to that card making event. So those will be what I will be showing to you. So, and I've got another, I made 2 cards earlier this week from another card and coffee that I went to, and it's a pretty Christmas card, so I will show that tomorrow as well. All right, have a great weekend. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I will see you in my next video. Take care. Bye-bye.